Hey lovelies, welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Well, it looks like Melody Shari is responding to Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly. So if you guys remember, I covered a story about Dr. Heavenly and Carlos King basically calling out Dr. Shanida and saying she's Melody's mouthpiece and some other things that were said. What I want to do is encourage you to watch the video if you haven't already. Now let's talk about this. But before that, if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. Now let's get into today's video. Melody went live on TikTok. Now, if you guys realize or notice, she's been going live a little bit more on TikTok versus Instagram. I miss her on Instagram. For some reason, I never really get notifications for TikTok, even though I switched it on. But I always get notifications for Instagram. Anyways, that's just by the way. I personally think she was calling out Carlos King. And shout out to Empress Radio because that's where I found out about this. So now let's get into it. During this live stream, she basically says, and I want you guys to really pay attention. She said, when you're in a leadership role, there are certain things that you have to do or should feel compelled to stay away from and not play in the mud, because what you're doing is adding more fuel to fire. Think about what Melody said for a second. Who is in a leadership role? Who is someone who seems to not be able to stay away from drama, stay away from playing in the mud? I'll give you an idea. The name starts with a C. Carlos King, honey. Let's call names, in my opinion. Now, everything I say in this video is alleged and in my opinion only, for criticism, for entertainment purposes only. Now, I personally think that this is her responding to Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly's Messy Mondays. And I'll tell you why. In Carlos King's Messy Mondays, he said something that I just thought was excessive. How can he basically say that Dr. Shanida loves the camera, and when she got the opportunity, she wanted it, or she was looking forward to the opportunity? Something that makes it seem like Dr. Shanida was jumping at the opportunity to be on Love and Marriage Huntsville and pretty much just performs for the camera. I feel like that is also just fueling what people are already saying about Melody. And if you notice, Melody has been getting a lot of hate. And if you are the one in leadership position, and instead of staying away from the drama, you are also adding some wood to make sure the fire is like fueled, what do you think will happen? Or what is it that you want to happen? Melody was basically also saying, like, you shouldn't talk about people that are putting a check in your pockets. The people who are a part of what it is you're doing, who make the wheels turn. Isn't that interesting? Like, she doesn't have to call names, but it is very clear what she is and who she is talking about. Let's be clear. Does Melody put a check in Carlos's pocket? In some way, she absolutely does. Because people come on the show to watch her for the most part. And if we think about the craziness the ratings have experienced, especially with the way Melody has been treated and Melody's fans have been treated, if you think about it, the ratings continue to take a nose or deep dive, okay? So it is clear that Melody is in some way putting money in his pocket. Let's not forget that Love and Marriage Huntsville, as low as the ratings are, they are still, or the show is still the most rated top show of OWN network, okay? So comparatively, the show is still doing better than all of the other shows. So that's a check. Melody talked about toxic leadership and being on a path of destruction or self-destruction when nobody's doing something to you and you're destroying what you've built yourself. Isn't that interesting? Because when he does the Messy Mondays, he doesn't realize he does this, but in my opinion, you are coming at the integrity of the show by saying certain things like that gives the impression that people are being performative, or that your castmate is not woman enough to speak for herself and needs a mouthpiece. That does not speak well of the show. It's toxic. It's like you're always speaking about Bravo in this amazing light, but do you speak about your show in that same light, sir? Except when you're trying to pander for us to watch the show. When you do your recap, do you big up your cast members? No, you don't. You big up the ones that you're not meant to big up and then not call things out when they need to be called out. You let most of the season be about millimeters, be about constantly coming for Melody. And then you wonder why it feels like this woman is living in this constant state of attack. And you wonder why the millimeters go in to try to fight back, to try to respond to comments, to try to keep going back at us. And I know now it's starting to feel like Melody is getting a lot more hate than love, but I won't be surprised if some of these people are behind it. Like, I was watching Queen Sheba's video a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week or so. And allegedly, she was talking about how a particular blogger, she didn't mention names, by the way, is on Carlos's payroll. And if that is the truth, and we know Queen Sheba, she comes through with the good tea, okay? So if that's true, that means that this person is probably making a shift from the content in which they put out. And in some way, maybe coming for the cast of the show. For instance, in particular, Melody Shari. Because if you guys notice, there's been such an outpour of negativity when it comes to Melody. Usually comments section be like heavily, Melody, like, oh, she's good, she's this. Now it's like, oh, she's the villain, oh, she's this, oh, she's that. I'm just like, they better be paying her well for this, because it must be annoying to be labeled as a villain when you've done nothing but have your own firm boundaries. And these people are constantly attacking you. But then if you're attacking one person and being rewarded for it, then I understand why you keep attacking people. First, you don't have integrity. But beyond that, if you keep attacking somebody, it is clear you don't have integrity. But beyond that, you're also doing it for a check. And then if the leader is part of the people coming for this woman, then it just makes things harder than it needs to be. Melody also made it clear that she does not need a mouthpiece. If you guys watched the video where I covered that it was being discussed that Dr. Shanida was a mouthpiece, you would know that Melody is indirectly responding like, I don't need a mouthpiece. If I want to say what I want to say, I will say what I want to say. I don't need to bring somebody on to say what I want to say. That's what I don't get that people don't seem to realize. When has it ever been that Melody can't speak what she wants to speak? She says what she wants to say all the time. The difference is she's not going to let anyone rush her to say what she wants to say or needs to say. She will say it when she is ready to. And that is okay. Everyone deals with conflicts differently. Everyone deals with issues differently. We have to just respect each other. That's it. Point blank, period. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Melody talking about toxic leadership and talking about self-destruction, do you think she's indirectly talking about Carlos King? Do you also think that Melody is clapping back at Dr. Heavenly by saying that she does not need a mouthpiece? Also, do you think Dr. Shanida was Melody's mouthpiece? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. And I'll see you guys in the comment section. Let's continue the conversation in the chat, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.